My wife called 911 on me as a prank, and I almost got shot on my own lawn. I'm a charge nurse at a suburban hospital. I work night shifts, which means I'm usually getting home anywhere between 11 p.m. and 1 a.m. depending on what's going on. My wife Kelsey works regular office hours, so our schedules have always been a bit mismatched, but we've made it work for 6 years of marriage. Here's the thing about Kelsey, she's been really into TikTok for the past year or so. At first it was just watching videos, but then she got into this whole content creator mindset. She's always talking about what would go viral, what trends are hot, that kind of stuff. I've supported it because, everyone needs hobbies. She'd ask me to be in videos sometimes, and I'd usually say yes if it wasn't too ridiculous. Last Monday night we had a really rough shift. I texted Kelsey around 9:15 p.m. letting her know I'd be late, probably home around 11:30 or midnight. She sent back okay, which was pretty normal. So I finally wrapped up everything at the hospital around 11:20 p.m. I was exhausted, my back was killing me, and I just wanted to get home, take a shower and maybe eat something before passing out. I pulled into our driveway at 11:35 p.m., grabbed my backpack from the passenger seat and walked up to our front door. That's when I heard the sirens. 3 police cars came screaming into our quiet suburban street, lights flashing everywhere. I was standing there with my keys in my hand, completely confused when I heard over a loudspeaker, "Drop what you're holding. Put your hands up. Get on the ground now. I'm a black man in America." I know exactly what to do in this situation, even though my brain was still trying to catch up with what was happening. I dropped my keys, I put my hands up, I got on my knees, then flatted on my stomach. My heart was pounding so hard I could hear it in my ears. 2 officers approached me with guns drawn. One of them put his knee on my back while the other cuffed me. My face was pressed into my own lawn. I was trying to stay calm, trying to follow every instruction perfectly because I've seen the news. I know how fast things can go wrong. One of the officers was talking into his radio. "We have a male matching the description attempting to enter the residence. Homeowner reported him as an intruder." That's when my front door opened, and my wife walked out laughing. She was holding her phone up, filming. One of the officers, I later learned his name was Ruiz, immediately asked her, "Ma'am, do you know this individual?" Kelsey, still giggling, said, "Oh my God, yes, that's my husband. I called you guys as a prank. I wanted to get his reaction on video. You should see his face right now." The atmosphere changed instantly. Officer Ruiz looked at her, then at me, then back at her. "Ma'am, are you telling me you filed a false police report?" She started to realize maybe this wasn't as funny as she thought. I mean, it was just for a video. It was a joke. I saw people doing it on TikTok. They uncuffed me and helped me up. Officer Ruiz apologized, said they were just responding to what they thought was a legitimate emergency call. Then he turned back to Kelsey and told her they'd need to file a report about the false call. I looked at my wife and said, "Do you understand that I could have died? Do you understand that if I had moved wrong, if anything had gone differently, you might be planning my funeral right now?" She rolled her eyes. "You're being so dramatic, it's just a prank. Tomorrow everyone's going to think it's hilarious when I post it." I turned to Officer Ruiz and said, "I want to file a formal complaint. She deliberately made a false 911 call." That's when Kelsey stopped laughing. She started saying I was overreacting, that married couples prank each other all the time, that I was trying to ruin her life. The officers took my statement, gave me a case number, and explained that filing a false police report is a misdemeanor criminal offense. After they left, I went inside. I didn't say another word to her. I grabbed a pillow and went asleep on the couch. But I couldn't sleep. At around 3 a.m., I emailed a family law attorney I found online. By 6 a.m., I had a response from a lawyer named Erica who said she could meet me that morning. When Kelsey woke up around 7 a.m., I was already packed. She looked confused, asking what I was doing. I simply said this: "I'm filing for divorce. All future communication goes through my attorney. I'll be staying with my brother." I loaded my car and left. She was blowing up my phone before I even got to my brother Malik's place. I told the officers I want to file charges. She's begging me not to follow through. Her family is already calling me, saying it was just a joke, that I'm being vindictive. But I can't shake the feeling that I was seconds away from becoming another hashtag. Am I wrong here? Should I give her another chance? Edit. Holy shit, this blew up. I'm trying to read all the comments, but there are so many. To answer some questions. Yes, we have the 911 call recorded. Yes, the officers had body cameras. My lawyer says I have a very strong case. No, we don't have kids. And no, I'm not going back to that house. Update 1. Posted 5 days later. I wasn't planning to update so soon, but a lot has happened and I need to get this out. So here's what happened after I left. Kelsey completely lost it. When I blocked her number, she started calling and texting from her mom's phone, her sister's phone, her friends' phones. The messages went from "baby please come home" to "you're ruining my life over nothing" to "I can't believe you're this petty." I didn't respond to any of them. My lawyer Erica told me not to engage at all, and honestly, what would I even say? Every time I think about going back to talk, I remember lying face down on my own lawn with a gun pointed at me. Then Kelsey's family got involved. Her dad called me on Tuesday evening. He started off trying to be reasonable, saying Kelsey made a mistake and that she's really sorry. I stayed quiet and let him talk. Then he said, "She's your wife. People make mistakes. You're really going to throw away 6 years over one bad decision?" I finally spoke up. I said, "With all due respect, sir, your daughter called the police and told them a black man was breaking into her house. She described me as threatening. She knew I work late and would be coming home tired. She knew exactly what she was doing. So I have to ask you, if one of those officers had misunderstood my movements, would you be at my funeral right now calling it one bad decision?" He didn't have an answer for that. He just said, "You're taking this too seriously. It's not like she meant for anyone to get hurt." I told him that intent doesn't matter when the outcome could have been me dead. Then I hung up. Her mom called the next day with a different approach, full crying, saying I'm destroying their daughter's life, that Kelsey has been crying nonstop, that she's just a girl who made a silly mistake. I actually laughed at that. Kelsey is 31 years old. She's not a girl. She's a grown woman who decided that getting viral content was more important than my safety. I told her mom, "Your daughter traumatized me in my own home. She turned my fear into entertainment. If she's crying, it's because she got caught and is facing consequences, not because she understands what she did wrong." Then I blocked that number too. My lawyer called me Wednesday with an update. The prosecutor's office reviewed the case and decided to move forward with charges. Kelsey is being charged with filing a false police report, misuse of emergency services, and obstruction of law enforcement. The prosecutor told Erica that the 911 recording and the body camera footage make this a really strong case. Apparently, when the officers asked Kelsey why she did it, her response was literally, "I wanted to see my husband's face when he got handcuffed. It would have been perfect for TikTok." That's on camera, her admitting she did this for social media content. The court date is set for 3 weeks from now. Erica says that even if Kelsey doesn't go to jail, she'll likely get probation, community service, and a criminal record. Honestly, I don't even feel satisfaction about that. I just feel tired. I'm staying with Malik for now. He's been incredible through all of this. His girlfriend Maya has been great too. She's a social worker and she's helped me understand that what I'm feeling is actually a trauma response. I keep having this nightmare where I'm back on the lawn, but in the dream, things go differently. I wake up sweating. Work has been weird. Some of my coworkers know what happened because word travels. Most people have been supportive, but there's this one guy who asked if I'm sure it was that serious, and if I'm really going to divorce her over a prank. I just walked away from that conversation. The hardest part is that we own our house together. We bought it 3 years ago. Erica says we'll have to sell it as part of the divorce proceedings and split the equity. I love that house, or I loved it. Now I can't imagine ever feeling safe there again. Kelsey sent one more message that got through before I blocked that avenue too. It said, "I hope you're happy ruining everything we built. All of this over one stupid video that I didn't even get to post. You're being cruel." I wanted to respond. I wanted to tell her that she ruined everything herself the second she decided my life was worth less than her engagement metrics, but I didn't. I'm done engaging with the delusion. So yeah, that's where things stand. Court in 3 weeks, divorce proceedings starting, and me trying to figure out how to sleep through the night without reliving the worst moment of my life. Thanks again for all the support. I'll update after the court hearing. Update 2. Posted 3 weeks later. The court hearing was today. I need to write this down while it's still fresh because I don't think I'll ever forget what happened in that courtroom. First, some quick updates. The divorce paperwork is moving forward. We got the house appraised and it's going on the market next week. My lawyer says the split should be pretty straightforward since we don't have kids. We'll divide the equity from the house and our savings, and we each keep what's in our individual names. Kelsey wanted to fight it, but her lawyer apparently told her she doesn't have much ground to stand on given everything else. But the court hearing is what I really need to talk about. I got there early with Erica. The prosecutor, a woman named Mrs. Lowell, met with us beforehand and walked me through what was going to happen. She told me they had the 911 recording, the body camera footage from all 3 responding officers, and text messages between Kelsey and her friends where she'd been planning the prank for over a week. Yeah, this wasn't a spontaneous decision. She'd been planning it. When Kelsey arrived with her lawyer, she wouldn't look at me. She was wearing a conservative dress, hair pulled back, trying to look as non-threatening as possible. Her parents and sister were there too, sitting in the back row. The hearing started, and Mrs. Lowell played the 911 call. Hearing it again made my stomach drop. Kelsey's voice on the recording was so convincing. She told the dispatcher that there was a suspicious black male trying to break into her house, that she was terrified, that she'd locked herself in the bedroom. She gave our address clearly, emphasized that she was alone and scared. It was a performance, and it was specifically designed to get police there with guns drawn. Then they played the body camera footage. Watching myself on that screen, seeing myself drop to the ground, the fear on my face, the knee on my back, I had to look away. But then I heard Kelsey's voice on the video, laughing, saying, "Oh my God, that's my husband. I called as a prank. Did you get his face? That would have been perfect." Several people in the courtroom audibly gasped. Even the judge looked disturbed. Kelsey's lawyer tried to argue that it was a momentary lapse in judgment, that she's normally a responsible person, that she deeply regrets her actions and has learned from this experience. He talked about how she's already suffering consequences, the stress of the divorce, the shame in her community, the loss of her marriage. Mrs. Lowell stood up for her turn and said, "Your Honor, the defendant didn't have a momentary lapse in judgment. She planned this for over a week. She deliberately described her own husband as a threatening intruder, knowing he would be coming home late from his job as a healthcare worker. She weaponized the emergency response system and racial bias to create content for social media. Her only regret is that she got caught and faced consequences." Then Mrs. Lowell looked directly at Kelsey and said, "Officers Ruiz and Patterson responded to your call in good faith, believing they were protecting someone's life. They were forced to hold an innocent man at gunpoint. You made them part of your entertainment, and you put Mr. Hudson's life in danger. He could have died because you wanted views on TikTok." The judge asked Kelsey if she had anything to say. She stood up, and I could tell her lawyer had coached her. She started crying and said she was sorry, that she never meant for anyone to get hurt, that she loves me and just wanted to make me laugh. The judge cut her off. He said, "Ms. Hudson, I've reviewed all the evidence in this case. Your 911 call was clear, detailed, and specifically designed to elicit an armed response. Your husband is a healthcare worker who was returning home from a night shift. You turned his arrival home into a life-threatening situation. The court finds you guilty on all charges." She broke down crying. Her mom started crying too, but the judge wasn't done. "I'm sentencing you to a $5,000 fine, 120 hours of community service, 1 year of probation, and mandatory participation in a decision-making course. You will also write formal apologies to the police department and to your husband. This will remain on your record. Do you understand? Kelsey nodded, still crying. Her lawyer helped her sit down. After the hearing, as I was leaving, Kelsey tried to approach me. She said, "Andre, please, can we just talk? I'm so sorry, I'll do anything." I looked at her and said, "You already did everything, and now we both have to live with it." Then I walked away. Erica told me that the criminal case being resolved helps our divorce move faster. We have mediation scheduled for next week to finalize the property division. There's only one thing we're fighting over: our dog, a 4-year-old pit mix named Tyson. Kelsey says he loves her more. But the microchip is in my name. All the vet records are in my name. Erica says I'll get Tyson. Honestly, that's the only part of this that matters to me anymore. So that's it. She's convicted. The divorce is almost done. And I'm trying to figure out who I am after all of this. I'll post one final update after everything is completely finished. Thanks for sticking with me through this. Final update. Posted 6 weeks later, okay, so this is hopefully my last update on this whole nightmare. Things have moved fast, and honestly, I'm glad it's almost over. The mediation was scheduled for last Monday, but it ended up being a total shit show. Kelsey showed up with her sister as emotional support. She was already hostile when we walked in. The mediator tried to start with the easy stuff, splitting the house money, dividing the savings accounts. That went fine because it's all just numbers. We each got our half, and honestly, I'm just glad to have enough for a down payment on a new place. But then we got to Tyson. Kelsey immediately said she should get him because he's always liked me better and Andre works night shifts. He's never home. The mediator asked about the paperwork, and that's when things got heated. I pulled out all the vet records, all in my name. The microchip registration, my name. The adoption papers from when we got him as a puppy 4 years ago, my name and my credit card. Kelsey's lawyer tried to argue that she's the one who takes care of him day to day, but I had receipts for every bag of dog food I'd ordered on Amazon for the past 2 years, photos of me and Tyson at the park, even text messages from Kelsey complaining about how I spoil him too much. The mediator looked at everything and said, "I'm sorry, Hudson, but the documentation is clear. The dog will remain with Mr. Hudson." Kelsey lost it. Started yelling about how I'm taking everything from her, how she's got nothing left. Her sister had to basically pull her out of the room. The mediator gave us all a break, and when we came back, Kelsey was gone. Her lawyer said she was too emotional to continue and that they'd sign off on whatever we'd agreed to. So that was Monday. On Wednesday, the house sale finalized, and I got my half of the money. Erica said the divorce would be final within a week, barring any last-minute issues. But here's the thing that really got me. I ran into someone from Kelsey's office on Thursday. She recognized me and stopped to chat. She seemed uncomfortable but said she felt like I should know something. Apparently, things have gotten really tense in Kelsey's family. At first, they all defended her and blamed me, but the financial reality is hitting now. Between her half of the house sale, her savings, and some help her parents gave her, she managed to pay the $5,000 fine and cover her legal fees. But it basically wiped her out. She's broke now. Her parents are pissed. They helped her financially, expecting she'd learn her lesson and move forward quietly. Instead, she's been posting on social media about being a victim, going out to bars constantly, buying new clothes and putting up this whole facade that everything's fine. Her mom apparently found out Kelsey spent $400 on a new outfit for a date last week while still owing her parents money. Her sister stopped talking to her after the mediation blow-up. The coworker said there was some big family dinner 2 weeks ago where Kelsey's dad asked her point blank if she understood the severity of what she'd done, and Kelsey apparently said I ruined her life over a joke. Her mom started crying, her dad walked out, and now family gatherings are just awkward silence or arguments. The coworker said, "I just thought you should know she's not doing well, but also, she's still not getting it. She thinks everyone's being unfair to her." I didn't know what to say. Part of me wanted to feel something, vindication, pity, satisfaction, but I just felt empty. It's like watching a car crash in slow motion that you saw coming miles away. Anyway, I've been moving forward with my life. I found an apartment about 15 minutes from the hospital, one bedroom, top floor, big windows. I moved in last weekend and I've been slowly making it feel like mine. I painted the bedroom this deep blue color that I always wanted but Kelsey said was too dark. I got new furniture, nothing from the old house. Fresh start. Tyson is loving it. There's a dog park right across the street and we go every morning before I head to work. He's made friends with a golden retriever named Milo, and I've started chatting with Milo's owner, this guy named David who works from home. Just casual dog park conversation, but it's nice to have a reason to leave the apartment other than work. Work has been good. I actually picked up some extra shifts, partly for the money but mostly to stay busy. My coworkers have been supportive. The guy who said I was overreacting, he apparently mentioned it to one of the nurses who's black, and she tore into him about how he couldn't possibly understand. He apologized to me last week. I accepted it. I'm also slowly reconnecting with friends I'd kind of drifted away from during the marriage. Turns out Kelsey had a way of making me feel like my friends were too much drama or not ambitious enough. Now that I'm out of that fog, I'm realizing how much I missed having my own circle. As for Kelsey, I blocked her on everything, but I have one mutual friend who keeps me vaguely updated. Apparently, she's back on social media, posting captions about men who can't handle strong women and learning who your real friends are. She started dating someone new already, some guy she met at a bar. Part of me wants to warn him, but honestly, that's not my responsibility anymore. She's supposed to be doing her community service hours on weekends, but according to my friend, she complains about it constantly, calling it punishment for being spontaneous. She still doesn't get it. Maybe she never will. The divorce will be officially final next week. I signed my part of the paperwork yesterday. Erica called to confirm that Kelsey signed hers too, so that's it. 6 years of marriage over. But here's the thing, I don't feel crushed. I thought I would be devastated, mourning the life we had. Instead, I feel lighter. I'm sleeping better. I'm laughing more. I feel safe in my own space. I'm not ready to date yet, but I'm also not closed off to the idea. I'm not letting what happened make me cynical about relationships in general. There's a nurse at work actually who asked if I wanted to grab coffee sometime. I said maybe in a few months, and she said that was cool, that the offer would still stand. So yeah, that's where I am. Single, living in a new apartment with my dog, rebuilding friendships and actually feeling okay about it all. The divorce is almost final. Kelsey is dealing with her consequences, and I'm just moving forward. Someone in the comments on my first post said, "You're not overreacting, you're surviving." That stuck with me, and they were right. I am surviving. And honestly, now I'm starting to actually live again. Thanks to everyone who commented, sent messages, and shared their own stories. This community really did help me see that I wasn't crazy for leaving, that my feelings were valid, that I deserved better. I'm grateful for that. This is probably my last update unless something wild happens. But I think I'm finally ready to close this chapter and start a new one. Take care of yourselves out there. My wife said, "You're a grown man, you want dinner, take care of yourself," after I worked a 14-hour paramedic shift in 100-degree heat. So I started doing exactly that. What happened next showed me who I really was in this marriage. I'm Max, 33, male, and I've been married to Jocelyn, 30, female, for 4 years. She has 2 kids from a previous relationship, Logan, 10, male, and Emma, 7, female. Their bio dad is pretty checked out, sporadic child support, rarely sees them. I stepped up. I don't call them my stepkids. They're just my kids in every way that matters. I work as a paramedic in Houston, mostly night shifts. The money's decent, but the work is brutal. 12 to 14-hour shifts, constant stress, people dying in your hands, heat exhaustion in summer. But someone's gotta do it, and honestly, I love the work. Saving lives feels like it matters. When Jocelyn and I first got together, things felt balanced. She worked full-time at a photography studio, we split groceries, took turns cooking, normal teamwork stuff. After we got married, she decided to quit the studio and go freelance, shooting family portraits, selling handmade stuff on Etsy. She wanted to be home more for the kids, and I supported that. I told her, I can handle the finances. You focus on the kids. We're a team. So that's what we did. I pay the mortgage, both car payments, insurance, utilities, groceries, kids' activities. Jocelyn brings in maybe $800 to $1,000 a month from bookings and online sales. It works, or I thought it did. Last Tuesday, I worked a double shift. Started at 8 a.m., didn't clock out until 10:30 p.m. We had 3 major car accidents, 2 cardiac arrests, and a heat stroke case. I spent most of the day in 100-degree heat in full gear, running between calls. I grabbed a protein bar at lunch. That was it. I came home exhausted. Uniform covered in dried sweat and that antiseptic smell that never quite washes out. The house was dark except for the living room TV playing Netflix. Kitchen was spotless, everything put away, no leftovers in sight. I opened the fridge. Empty except for the kids' yogurt cups and some condiments. I walked to the living room. Jocelyn was on the couch scrolling her phone. "Hey babe, did you save me any dinner? I haven't eaten since noon." She didn't look up. "No, I cooked for the kids at 6. Kitchen's closed. You're a grown man. You want dinner. Take care of yourself." I just stood there. My ears were ringing from exhaustion. I just worked 14 hours. She laughed, not a nice laugh. "Nobody forced you to pick night shifts. You chose that job, so deal with it. I'm not a 24/7 diner." I wanted to say, the mortgage you don't pay, the car you drive that I'm paying off, Logan's summer camp, Emma's ballet classes, the Netflix you're watching, all paid for by those night shifts I chose. But I was too tired, so I just made 2 pieces of toast, ate them standing at the counter, and went to bed. Lying there in the dark, those 4 words kept repeating, "Take care of yourself." It wasn't even an insult, at least not directly, but it stung so freaking bad. I thought we were a team. I thought we were supposed to take care of each other. I started thinking about other things. Small things that suddenly felt big. At Jocelyn's family dinners, while her mom talked to her and the kids, I only got a polite "night shifts must be tough, Mark." They called me Mark. My name is Max. At parent-teacher conferences, when teachers complimented how involved I am, Jocelyn joked, "He's better at paying bills than playing catch, but he tries." I remember Emma's ballet recital last month. I switched shifts to be there. Afterward, Emma ran to me first. Jocelyn said, "Go thank Max for taking time off work." Like I was the babysitter getting off early. Last week I mentioned my back was hurting from lifting patients. Jocelyn said, "Your work insurance covers that, right? Don't waste money going out of network." That same week, she booked herself a self-care weekend at some budget resort with friends. Cost about $400. I'm lying here in the dark, doing math I don't want to do, checking account statements I haven't looked at in months because I trusted we were partners. I pulled up our bank statements for the last 3 months, and guess what I found? Over $900 on Jocelyn's clothes, home decor, and girls' nights out. You know how much I spent on myself? $0 on the running shoes I desperately need because my back is killing me from lifting patients all day. I haven't bought myself new work boots in 2 years. The soles are wearing through. Every dollar I make goes into this household and the people in it, and I still don't even deserve a hot meal after a brutal day at work. Am I a husband? Or am I just a provider? A paycheck that takes up space? When did I become the guy who gets told to take care of himself after saving lives all day? It's not even like I'm some 1950s guy who thinks cooking is automatically a wife's job. If she were busy or overwhelmed, I'd have zero problem making dinner myself. But that wasn't what happened. She just deliberately chose not to make anything for me. Seth, my partner at work, has been saying stuff for months. "Man, I never hear you talk about your wife doing anything for you. It's always what you're doing for them." I brushed it off. That's just marriage, right? You take care of your family. But lying here, hungry and alone after a 14-hour shift, I'm starting to wonder, what would happen if I actually did what she said? What if I really did just take care of myself? Edit, going to try to sleep. Early shift tomorrow, thanks for listening. I'll update if anything changes. Update 1, hey everyone. Didn't expect that first post to blow up like it did. Thanks for all the reality checks. I needed them. So I decided to take Jocelyn's advice. If I'm supposed to take care of myself, then that's exactly what I'm going to do. Monday, after my shift, I stopped at the grocery store. Bought myself a nice ribeye steak, asparagus, a good bottle of beer, fresh sourdough bread, just for me. I got home around 8 p.m. Logan and Emma were eating frozen chicken nuggets and tater tots off paper plates while watching TV. Jocelyn was scrolling her phone on the couch. I unpacked my groceries on the counter, started seasoning my steak. Jocelyn looked over, watched me for a minute. "You went shopping?" "Yeah." She got up, came to the kitchen, looked at my ingredients. "You didn't ask if we wanted to eat with you, you just bought food for yourself." I looked at her. "You're a grown woman, you want dinner, take care of yourself. That's what you told me." Her mouth opened, closed. She blinked a few times like she was processing a math problem that didn't make sense. That's not what I meant." "What did you mean then?" She didn't answer, just stood there while I cooked my steak. The smell filled the kitchen, garlic, butter, that perfect sear. Logan came in. "Max, that smells so good. What are you making?" "Steak, buddy, just for me tonight." "Can I have some?" I looked at Jocelyn. She was glaring at me now. "Ask your mom to make you something better than nuggets, okay?" After I sat down to eat, Jocelyn stood in the doorway. "This is really petty, Max." "Is it? Or is it just doing exactly what you told me to do?" She went back to the couch without another word. But I noticed she ordered pizza for her and the kids 30 minutes later. Wednesday, my rare night off. I decided to make myself a really good pasta dinner. I opened a bottle of wine I'd been saving. I was plating it when Jocelyn walked into the kitchen. She stopped, stared at the setup. You made yourself pasta?" "Yep." I sat down, twirled some pasta on my fork. "You didn't make any for us." Her voice had this edge to it, like she couldn't believe what she was seeing. "I thought we weren't running a 24/7 diner. You've been home all day. Figured you could take care of yourself." She just stood there, arms crossed. "So this is how it's going to be? You're just going to, what, pretend we don't exist?" "I'm not pretending anything. I'm taking care of myself like you said. You're welcome to do the same." Her face went red. "I have kids to feed, Max. You also have a kitchen, ingredients, time, same as me." She stormed out. 20 minutes later, I heard her making macaroni and cheese from a box, slamming the pot harder than necessary. Friday, I was getting ready for my shift when I saw a group text pop up. Jocelyn had booked movie tickets, girls' night plus Logan, 3 tickets. The movie was tonight. I was literally in the group chat. I didn't say anything, just went to work. After my shift, Seth asked if I wanted to grab beers. First time I'd said yes in over a year. We went to this sports bar, watched the game, talked about normal guy stuff. I got home around 11 p.m. The lights were on. Jocelyn was waiting. "Where were you?" "Out with Seth, got some beers after work." "You didn't think to tell me or ask if we wanted to do something as a family?" I just looked at her. "You booked movie tickets for you and the kids today. You didn't ask me. You didn't even mention it until after you'd bought them." "That's different." "How?" "Because," she floundered, "because you're always working. I didn't think you'd want to go." "Did you ask?" Silence. "Right," I said. "So you made plans without me, didn't include me, and that's fine. But me going out with a friend after work, that's a problem. You're being difficult." "No, Jocelyn, I'm being exactly what you told me to be. Someone who takes care of himself and doesn't expect you to be a 24/7 service." She opened her mouth, closed it, then turned and went upstairs without another word. Then Logan's situation happened. Logan came home with a D on his science test. Usually I help him study. He's a smart kid, just needs someone to work with him. He found me in the garage after my shift. He had that look kids get when they're trying not to cry. "Max, can you help me study like you always do? I don't understand the periodic table stuff." I was so tired I could barely stand. My back was screaming. And through the garage door I could see Jocelyn on the couch, phone in hand, scrolling. "Buddy, I just worked 24 hours straight. Your mom's been home all day. She can help you." His face fell. Not angry, just confused. Jocelyn heard me from the living room. She came to the garage door and her voice had that sharp edge. "Are you seriously punishing a kid because you're mad at me? He didn't do anything to you, Max." That's what got me. She was right. Logan didn't deserve this. But somehow I was the villain for not automatically being the solution while she sat on her phone all day. I ended up helping Logan that night. Not because of Jocelyn, but because of the way his face fell when he saw us arguing. We stayed up till midnight going through elements and compounds, atomic numbers, the whole thing. He aced his retake. But the entire time I kept thinking, why is it that when I step back for even 1 second, I'm punishing people? Why is my exhaustion selfish, but her being available and choosing not to help is just normal? Then Tuesday happened. That's the real update. Tuesday afternoon, scorching hot day. We got back-to-back calls. Car accident on I-10, elderly man having a stroke, domestic violence situation that got messy. After we delivered the last patient to the ER, I felt dizzy, really dizzy. I remember Seth's face getting blurry and then, nothing. I woke up on a gurney. In the same I just dropped a patient off at. Seth was sitting next to me and Dr. Patel was checking my vitals. You passed out from exhaustion, dehydration, and sleep deprivation, Dr. Patel said. Max, you need serious rest. If this happens again, it could be much worse. You're running yourself into the ground. I looked at my phone, one text from Jocelyn. When are you done? Can you pick up Logan from practice tonight? No, are you okay? No call, nothing. I texted back, I'm in the ER. I collapsed at work. Her response came 30 minutes later. Oh no, are you okay? Will you be home for dinner? I stared at that message for a long time. Seth saw my face. What'd she say? I showed him. He shook his head. Man, I'm just gonna say it. You're not a husband to her. You're a resource. I spent that night at Seth's place. Told Jocelyn I needed space after a medical scare. She said okay, but seemed more worried about who'd handle the morning routine. Lying on Seth's couch, I made a decision. Tomorrow I'm calling a lawyer, not to file yet, just to understand what leaving would actually look like. I can't keep being the guy who works himself into a hospital bed and gets asked if he'll be home for dinner. Update 2. So I met with a lawyer. Her name's Ms. Corinne Blake. She didn't sugarcoat anything. And before anyone makes the stereotype joke, she's actually incredibly good at her job. The house is in my name from before the marriage. Jocelyn might claim partial equity if she can prove contributions to renovations, but that's a stretch. No shared kids means no child support obligations. I might owe short-term spousal support depending on how the judge sees it, but Texas isn't California. It wouldn't be forever. You're in a better position than most, she said. But the question is, are you ready to do this? I told her I wanted to try talking to Jocelyn first. One real conversation. That conversation happened last Wednesday night. I waited until Logan and Emma were asleep. Sat Jocelyn down at the kitchen table. I told her everything. How I felt like an ATM with legs. How take care of yourself after a 14-hour shift made me feel worthless. How she didn't even call when I collapsed at work. How in 4 years of marriage I couldn't remember the last time she'd asked about my day, my stress, my anything. When you look at me, I asked, what do you see? Honestly, because I don't think you see a husband, I think you see a paycheck. She sat there for a long time not looking at me. Finally, I have to think about the kids too. I can't let them go without. Not I'm sorry. Not I love you. Not even you're wrong. Just I have to think about the kids. I sat back. So if I couldn't work anymore, then what? Would you stay? She looked away. I don't know, that's not fair. Actually, I said quietly, that's the most honest answer you've given me in years. I slept in the guest room that night. The next day I filed for legal separation. It's not divorce yet. It's a trial separation with legal paperwork establishing I'm moving out, we're separated, starting the division process. A test run before the full divorce. Jocelyn got the papers on Friday. That's when everything changed. She called me crying. Max, what are you doing? You're going to leave us over some arguments about dinner. It's not about the dinner, Jocelyn. Then what? Tell me. We can fix this. Don't do this to the kids. You didn't ask if I was okay when I collapsed at work. You asked if I'd be home for dinner. Silence. Then, I was scared, Max. I didn't know what to say. You've never been scared to tell me what you need, ever. But when I need something, suddenly you don't know what to say. She didn't have an answer for that. So I just hung up. Here's where it got surreal. Starting that weekend, Jocelyn became a completely different person. Sunday morning, she made my favorite breakfast. Full spread, eggs, bacon, biscuits, and gravy. Monday, she deep cleaned my truck, left a note on the dashboard. Thank you for everything you do. Love, Jay. Tuesday, Logan and Emma showed me a poster they'd made. We love Max with hand-drawn pictures of us doing homework together. Wednesday, Jocelyn posted on Facebook, first time she'd posted about me in months. So grateful for this man. He works so hard for our family, I don't say it enough. I saw all of it and I felt nothing, hollow. She could be this person. She could treat me like a husband. She just never thought she needed to before. Then came Sunday dinner at her parents' house. When love bombing wasn't working, Jocelyn decided the move was to tell her entire family that I was the problem. She stood up mid-dinner and announced, "Max has been financially controlling our entire marriage. He won't let me spend money without permission. He tracks everything I buy. It's honestly been abusive and I'm scared." I just sat there. I'd already shown her parents the bank statements that morning, all $2,800 of her personal spending in 3 months versus my $140. Her dad stood up. "Jocelyn, stop. We know about the spending. Max showed us everything. We know you've been treating him like an ATM." The table went silent. Jocelyn's face went red. "That's my money. I can spend what I want. You're all ganging up on me." Her younger sister spoke up, quiet but clear. "Jocelyn, he collapsed at work from exhaustion and you only asked if he'd be home for dinner. That's not okay." I watched Jocelyn realize what she'd just done. She tried to turn her whole family against me, and instead they'd seen exactly who she really was. We left separately. She texted me later, "I can't believe you told my parents." I replied, "I told them the truth. You told them a lie. I'm moving out this weekend. Found a 1-bedroom apartment near the station. Short lease, flexible. It's small, but it's mine. Seth's helping me move. He said I look lighter already." Logan texted me yesterday, "Are you still coming to my soccer game Saturday?" I wrote back, "I'll always be there for you, buddy." Emma drew me a picture of the new apartment with me smiling. She wrote, "Max's happy place." I'm bringing that with me. I don't know what happens next with the kids. I don't know if Jocelyn will fight me or let this go quietly. I don't know if I'll end up owing spousal support or walking away clean. What I do know, I'm not an ATM anymore. And for the first time in 4 years, I'm taking care of myself for real this time. Edit. To everyone asking about the kids, I'm working with my lawyer to establish a formal relationship where I can still be in Logan and Emma's lives. I'm not their bio dad, but I've been their dad in every way that counts. I'm not abandoning them. Final update. It's been 3 months since I moved out. Time for a final update because some of you have been asking, and honestly, I need to close this chapter for myself. First, the apartment. I'm still in that 1-bedroom near the station. At first, it felt weird living alone. Too quiet. I kept expecting to hear Jocelyn's voice or the kids running around. But then I started making it mine. Bought a decent couch on Facebook Marketplace. Hung up some photos, me and Seth at a Texans game, Emma's drawing of Max's happy place, a picture of Logan scoring his first soccer goal. The apartment isn't much, but it's the first place that's felt like home in years. I can breathe here. The legal stuff wrapped up faster than expected. Jocelyn didn't fight the separation. I think her family's reaction at that dinner really shook her. Her mom called me privately to apologize, said she'd always noticed but didn't want to interfere. I appreciated the honesty. I'm paying temporary spousal support for 6 months, $800 a month. Not fun, but Ms. Blake warned me it was likely. After that, we're done financially. The house is mine. It's going to the market. Jocelyn moved into an apartment on the other side of town. We're not getting back together. We don't even talk anymore. That ship sailed, but we're figuring out how to be civil for the kids' sake. Speaking of the kids, this is the part I was most worried about, but it's actually turned out okay. Logan still texts me regularly. I go to his soccer games. We got ice cream last week and talked about his crush on a girl in his class. Normal dad-son stuff. Emma comes over every other weekend. She brings her art supplies and we have studio time where she draws and I attempt to draw. She's teaching me. Last weekend she said, "You're getting better, Max, not good but better." Kids got honest feedback down. Jocelyn and I worked out an informal arrangement. I'm not their legal guardian, but I'm a consistent adult presence in their lives. That's what matters. Logan told me last week, "Mom's been different lately." She actually asks how our day was now. I'm glad. Those kids deserve better than they were getting. The thing I didn't expect, work got better. You know how they say when your home life is a disaster, it bleeds into everything. Yeah, true. Since moving out, I'm sleeping better, eating better. My back pain has decreased. Dr. Patel thinks the stress was making it worse. I actually enjoy my shifts now instead of dreading going home after. Seth says I'm less dead inside. His words, and then there's this. About a month ago, I met someone. Her name's Rachel. She's a nurse at one of the ERs we frequent. We've been friends for a while, you know, the hey, you guys again banter when we bring patients in. But after I moved out, Seth invited a bunch of people out for his birthday and Rachel was there. We talked for 3 hours about everything. Books, music, the burnout we both feel in healthcare, her terrible experience with online dating, my disaster of a marriage. When I told her about the take care of yourself thing, she said, "What kind of person says that to someone they're supposed to love?" She asked about my back pain, asked if I'd tried physical therapy, texted me the next day to ask if I'd made an appointment yet. She actually asked about me, like it mattered. We're taking it slow. Coffee dates between shifts, texting about stupid memes at 2 and when we're both having insomnia. Nothing serious yet. But here's what gets me. She treats me like I'm a person, not a provider, not a problem solver, just me. The bar is in hell. But can you blame me? I just got out of a marriage where I was treated like a walking ATM. The other day, something happened that made me realize how far I've come. I was at my apartment making dinner and I burned the chicken. Just totally charred it because I got distracted by a text. Old Max would have panicked, would have worried about wasting money, would have gone to bed hungry because ordering food felt too indulgent. New Max. I laughed, opened DoorDash, ordered Thai food and ate it on my couch while watching a documentary about space. I took care of myself, and it felt normal. To everyone who commented on my first post, you gave me permission to trust my gut. You showed me I wasn't crazy. Thank you. This is my last update. Time to close this chapter and focus on the next one. Peace, Reddit.